Hello, my name is RB Lazy, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a simple producer and consumer of Kafka in Spring Boot. So basically, first of all, we need to download and install Kafka in our machine. So let's go to the Kafka homepage. Let's type Kafka download. And here we go to the Kafka official Apache Kafka page, where you can download one of these two tars. Basically, just download one. I'm choosing I have already downloaded. And after you download it, you should unzip it anywhere in your machine. Preferably, you should use either a Mac or a Linux based machine, because in Windows you're going to encounter different problems. I have already unzipped it in my home folder. And here I have also renamed it for easier use. I have renamed it from Kafka version 2.12 to simply Kafka. After that, I'm going to start the Kafka server. So let's go cd Kafka in the terminal. In the directories, in the folders where you have decompressed your Kafka download. So I go inside the Kafka folder and I type bin zookeeper server start dot sh. And this sh stands for bash. If you're using a Mac, you don't need it. If you're using Ubuntu, you should, or other Linux distributions, you should put it there. Then config zookeeper.properties. By typing this, I basically have started the Zookeeper server in which the Kafka server will be run. Now let's keep it like this, and in a new tab or a new window of the console, let's start the actual Kafka server. Then Kafka, I just type bin / Kafka server start.sh, and then config server.properties. As you'll see, my Kafka machine has already started. Now we need to create our own microservice for producing and consuming to a Kafka topic using a simple Spring Boot application. So let's go to the IntelliJ. I use IntelliJ, but I believe you can use whatever you want, Spring Tool Suite or Eclipse with the necessary plugins, or if you're a master in the usage of version control of Maven or of Gradle, you can do it even in command line. So I'll go to Spring, and I have to choose the Spring initializer. So let's just go Java Home, Spring, and there it is, the Spring initializer. And this is going to help me create a project and with the necessary dependencies via the web. So I'll just rename it simple example and here Kafka Producer Consumer. And I'm going to use Maven for dependency injection and Java 8 for actually running this project. Then next, Then as dependencies I'm going to choose web, and then to messaging I'm going to choose Kafka. Next, finish. And let's wait for the dependencies to be downloaded and installed. Let's enable the auto import. And let's see that this project is a simple Spring Boot application with nothing in it. So in order to start our Kafka producer, I'm going to need two things. First of all, a REST controller in which to pass the information from the client side. So just type Kafka simple controller. Yep. And I'm just going to add the proper annotations. So REST controller at request mapping dash API dash /API / Kafka. Then in here I'm just going to pass a model. Let's create our model, simple model. And this simple model will simply have private, let's say, string field 1 and private string field 2. I'm going to create also the constructors, a simple model string field 1. I could have used project Lombok, but field 2, this dot field 1, this dot field 2, field 2. Now I'm going to generate the getters and setters using getters and setters generator. Eclipse also has this generator. So basically this is the facade or my simple object that is going to be transferred in via Kafka. Now I have created the controller. I have to create an endpoint to actually get this simple object. I'm going to get it as JSON, so let's public void post. I'm going to use post mapping here at request body simple model, and this simple model will be sent via Kafka. So let's create our Kafka configuration and let's name it Kafka config and annotate it with the add configuration annotation in order to be recognized and in order for being to be created in the startup. So now let's go producer factory, and I'm going to go string simple model. So the string is the ID and the simple model is the actual model. Producer factory, and this is going to be a bean. And yep, I need to import it. It's a Spring bean. And in here I need a map string object in order to pass the actual configuration of this producer factory that is going to help the Kafka template to actually produce to a topic in the actual Kafka engine. So let's name it config equals to new hash map, and this doesn't really matter. So, and let's put our actual properties, and the actual properties here are going to be producer config dot bootstrap server config, and the server is going to be either 127.0.0.1. The port is 1992, the default port for Kafka. But you can also change it. Then producer config, key serializer class config. This is going to actually to decide which serializer is going to be needed for the key. And I'm going to use the string serializer from Apache Kafka serialization class. Then the other one is the value serializer. So producer config dot value serializer class config, and here I'm going to use the JSON serializer from Kafka, of course, from Kafka support dot class, and then I'm simply going to return this config. I'm going to return this producer factory, so new default Kafka Producer factory, which is going to take as an argument the config via the constructor. After that, we also need the actual Kafka template to perform the producing, the sending to a topic via our application. And the Kafka template is going to be, yes, of course, this should be public. Here it's not a problem because they are in the same package, but they should be public. So Kafka template string simple model and Kafka template return new Kafka template, which takes as an argument the producer, the actual producer factory. So now let's go back to the Kafka simple controller and let's inject the actual Kafka template via the constructor Kafka simple controller. Let's say Kafka template string simple model Kafka template, and create the actual field for this template. Simple model Kafka template, and there it is, successfully injected this template. Now let's use this template to actually send to an actual topic in Kafka. So let's choose a name for the topic. Let's call it my topic, and let's put the actual message, what we want to send to Kafka. So after we've done this, let's run the application. And using Postman, We actually also need the, I forgot here, post mapping. So let's restart this. And using Postman, I'm going to post a dummy object, dummy JSON body to the local host. Port is 8080 for my Spring Boot application. API/Kafka, and the body is going to be a simple body, field1. Let's call it field1, just like it is, and the other data field, field2. So I'm now going to post it. And it returns 200 OK. And as you can see here, the actual value is posted in the Kafka, and we can check it if it works by opening a new tab and bin /Kafka console consumer .h and then choosing the bootstrap server localhost 1992 and the topic, as we have named it here, the my topic, and that's all. So if we do the posting again here, we can see that we actually got the field1 and field2. So let's do it again. Yes, this is field, and do something, send, and I'm sending to the Kafka topic. Yes, you can see here it changed, and that's all. That's the producing using a Spring Boot application and Apache Kafka. And this is just a simple producer, but it would be more convenient to actually demonstrate it using Kafka that has different partitions and is spread in different machines. Anyway, that's all in this video. Thank you for watching, and if you liked it, please subscribe.